This game was awesome. Tied at 1 game apiece, Bucks and Pacers as the series moves to Indianapolis. Caitlin Clark in the house, number overall pick in the WNBA draft. Bucks still without Giannis Antetokounmpo, still dealing with the calf injury. Concerning moment here for the Bucks. Late first quarter, Damian Lillard to the buck. He gets that to go, but down in instant pain, grabbing his left knee. Helped off the floor, goes to the locker room. Fortunately, okay. He did return in the second quarter. Mid-second, Pacers up 10. Tyrese Halliburton to Obi Toppin. 15 off the bench for him. Pacers up 13. Final seconds of the first. Andrew Nembhard, no. Halliburton, yes. Up 12 at the break. Halliburton, most assists, 11 in a playoff half by a Pacer in the play-by-play era. Started in 1996. Final seconds of the third. Bucks down 9. Chris Middleton double-teamed. Jumper at the buzzer. That's good. Questionable coming into this game with an ankle injury. Bucks down 7 after 3. They were down by as many as 19. Early fourth. Bucks down just 2. Lillard, step back. Buries it. Up 1. Their first lead of the night for Milwaukee. Midway through the fourth. Pacers down 1. Halliburton. Step back for 3. His only 3 of the night. 1 of 12 from beyond the arc. Pacers up 2. 25 seconds left. It's now a 1-point game. Halliburton off on the 3. Offensive rebound. Pascal Siakam lays it in. +1. Up 3. Missed the free throw, though. Would that prove to be a problem? Next Bucks possession. Middleton to the bucket. That's good. Bucks down 1. They'd foul, so down 3. 5 seconds left. We need Chris Middleton to make a bucket. We need something. Chris Middleton around 2 defenders. Got it! Tied at 111. Are you kidding me? Giannis, that's what you do. Ensuing Pacers inbound. 1.4 seconds left. Siakam. For 3 in the win, no. And we are headed to overtime. The first overtime of the 2024 playoffs. 20 seconds left in OT. Tied at 115. Siakam catches on the roll. Corner to Aaron Nesmith for the 3. Top of your screen, bottom of the net. Pacers up 3 with 14 seconds left. That was his only made 3 of the game. Can Middleton do it again for Milwaukee? 10 seconds left. Down 3. Damian Lillard to Middleton. Chris Middleton for the tie. Banks it in. And we are tied at 118 with 7 seconds left. Middleton, a playoff career high, 42 points, 10 rebounds, 18 points coming in the fourth quarter and overtime. The Pacers led by as many as 19. They can't let this slip away. Caitlin Clark watching. Can the boys get it done? 6 seconds to go. Halliburton through traffic. Floater plus the foul, up 3 after the made free throw. He finished with the 4th playoff triple-double in Pacers history. More on that in a moment. 1.6 seconds left. Inbound to Middleton. We need it again. No. Good look, tough shot. Pacers win 121-118 in overtime. Hold on after having a 19-point lead. You can't lose in front of Caitlin Clark. Pacers take a 2-1 series lead. That's back-to-back wins following 10 consecutive playoff losses. Halliburton with the triple-double. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 16 assists. Doc Rivers and the Bucks come up short in Game 3. No Giannis, that's still a problem. Welcome in CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. John, that game was awesome. Your reaction is what after watching that overtime thriller?
I don't know what we just saw there. I mean, that game was all over the place, Keem. I think at the end, ultimately, the takeaway is if you're the Pacers, you are breathing a massive sigh of relief. As you mentioned, they were up 19. Game 2 looked like they crushed the Bucks. It looked like they had momentum coming back to Indiana. Halliburton was talking about how great the crowd was going to be in Indiana, and it was to start. And then all of a sudden, Bucks start creeping back. Chris Middleton, who people didn't even know if he was going to be able to go. He's got an ankle injury. People were asking, is he back? It's kind of like the John Wick moment. Yeah, I'm thinking he's back. The guy went for 42, a game-high 42, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. And he sent them to overtime on a circus shot. And he hit another big shot in overtime where you thought, oh, okay, he got them back into it. But you mentioned it. Tyrese Halliburton, he had a triple-double tonight. But like shooting-wise, he was horrendous. He went 8 for 22 from the floor, 1 for 12 from game 3. But the only one that really mattered was the last one where he took the ball deep in the backcourt. And I was going, wow, he's so far deep in the backcourt. Where's he going? Where's he going? He's going straight to the hoop with a full head of steam, wins the game. And man, yeah, sigh of relief if you're the Pacers and Pacers fans.
Look at that play again, John. I want to point something out. As he comes down the lane, if Giannis is there, he might not make that shot. He might have to change directions. He might have to kick that out because he has nowhere to go. What did you think about that? If Giannis is there, that might be a different story.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, there's no Giannis there, and as you could see, there was no Brook Lopez on that play either. There was nobody clogging the paint and protecting the rim. I don't think that they were expecting Tyrese Halliburton, who, again, hadn't had a great shooting night. He affected the game in a lot of different ways tonight. He was an awesome passer, found a lot of open looks for the Pacers, but I don't think anybody thought, you know, who they should go to tonight. The guy who went 8 for 22 from the floor hasn't looked like himself shooting the ball since he had injured his hamstring after the All-Star break. But kudos to the Pacers for deciding, hey, you know, Siakam has been great in this series. Tonight, Miles Turner was amazing for them. But this season, their best player has been Tyrese Halliburton. They decided to live or die with him, and they lived.
All right, so when you take a look at what this means for the Pacers, right? They had a 19-point lead in this game. They blew the 19-point lead, but they, in the end, complete the win with the 121-118 win in overtime, which is, by the way, the first overtime game of these playoffs. We had to wait this far into the playoffs, and not that long, a couple weeks, but still, that was a thriller. What did that mean for the Pacers here to get that win? Because not only would it be embarrassing, because you can't lose in front of Caitlin Clark either when she's in the building, but also that would be one of those things where, wait, you were up 19, they didn't have Giannis, they didn't have a fully healthy Damian Lillard, and you lost? Like, this has to be, they have to go, we have to win this series now. Not that they weren't thinking that already, but this has to be the motivation, like, hey, we got to handle our business.
Oh, absolutely. They dodged one here. I mean, if my shirt collar wasn't already unbuttoned, I'd be unbuttoning it and doing one of these guys, because that's what the Pacers got to be feeling like right now. I mean, when you're up 19 at home, you've got the momentum at your back. Everybody's expecting you to win this game. You were a heavy favorite, -6 going into the game. Miles Turner had an unbelievable game. Siakam had a really good game. The Bucks have had a hard time with the Pacers bigs. Yeah, you have to win this game because if you don't, if you lose this game, especially as you mentioned, no Giannis for the Bucks. Dame Lillard, yeah, he went for 28 tonight, but another rough shooting night for him, just 6 of 20 from the floor. If you blow this game with a lead that big at home, now everybody's going, well, hold on a second. What happens if Giannis comes back? And even if he doesn't come back, you just blew that game at home, and now the Bucks have momentum. They steal it away from you on your floor. That could have been absolutely disastrous for the Pacers. So, yes, huge sigh of relief for them. They are very lucky to get out of there with a win.
Yeah, again, you can't lose in front of Caitlin Clark. She's in the building. She's going to be playing there in a couple of months. You got to set the tone. She's ramping up the crowd. We saw Giannis on the sideline. He's playing the role of cheerleader. The Bucks are now 5-7 without Giannis this season as they lose here in overtime. Can they stay in this series without him? Now down 2-1.
It's going to be tough. I thought it was going to be tough before the series started. Obviously, you know, he's itching to get out there, but they have to be careful about this too, because yes, you bring back Giannis and now all of a sudden it's a different series, right? And who knows, maybe later on down the road, he can come back and get into this series before it's over. But they shut him down real fast before game 1, well in advance of game 2, well in advance of game 3. That tells me that he's not close to being right. And this is a guy, too, let's not forget, Akeem, who has been really great recovering from injury. But this injury is so tricky. He's got that calf injury. We've seen what happened before. KD, everybody's mentioned it. He had the same injury back in 2019. Rush him back for the finals. Boom. Turns out that he blows out his Achilles. That is the last thing you want for your franchise player. So it's a tricky catch-22 here. It's a rock and a hard place if you're the Bucks. If you don't bring him back, it'll be really difficult to beat the Pacers. If you do bring him back, now all of a sudden you're crossing your fingers, your toes, you're hoping he doesn't hurt himself. So I don't know what the Bucks are going to do here.
What is your old friend Doc Rivers saying now, right? I mean, they brought him here for this. They brought him here to win in the playoffs. And I know you're without one of your stars here, but what's Doc Rivers saying? What's his approach? What are his adjustments going into game 4?
I think if you're Doc, you're thinking, man, like, I can't catch a break here, right? I come back, I get this team, and Chris Middleton is hurt. Then Chris Middleton comes back, then Dame is hurt. Then Dame comes back, then Chris Middleton's hurt again. Then all of a sudden, all right, they're getting a little ahead of momentum here, and then the playoffs, they're just about to go into the player, Giannis, gets hurt, and it's not a trivial injury, too. It's an injury where you go, I don't know what we're going to do here. We can't rush him back. If I'm Doc, you've got all the excuses in the world, which maybe is what Doc wants. I mean, just between us, he hasn't been out of the second round in a very long time since he was back with the Boston Celtics. But this does give him a lot of excuses to go, hey, not my fault. It was all the injuries. What are we supposed to do?
John Gonzalez breaking it down for us here on CBS Sports HQ. That was a fun one.
Sure was.
That was a fun one. Indiana outlasts Milwaukee in overtime, 121-118 to take a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 back in Indianapolis on Sunday.